Okay, hey guys, we are live. It's Santa Claus. I'm oddly awake
I'm hyper awake.
since we just,
Well, how many hours of sleep have you had?
I'm okay.
You ran in here yesterday, like.
I know. Anyways, just got back from Paris and we are live. And thank you for suggesting today's topic. So what we are going to talk about today is unpacking the baggage, the shit that's in your head that forms the opinions on what you should wear, what you shouldn't wear. And really what it does is it keeps you probably from wearing a lot of stuff in your closet or buying some things that you really want to try and you just can't like get past it. So thank you for that. Before we dive into it though, I just want to say I did just get back from London and then Paris, and two things I thought of is one, watching all the runway shows and reading about, did you like the stuff about how like Anna Wintour at JW's show like gets up like before it even ends and leaves? And I was thinking how, you know, when you're done with the show as a designer, as an owner, it's so emotional when you come out. And if you come out and you really don't know the people there, or
You want to lock eyes with somebody or see somebody, right?
Yeah, and so when I used to come out way back in the day, pre-COVID, I used to come out from the shows, like thank God, like my mom, my dad, Frank, and then maybe my kids would be sitting right there and I could go hug them. But the experience the last two shows where we've had so many of our customers come to the runway shows and you are able to walk out and feel so much energy, from people that you just have this unbelievable connection with that we've made through these DMs. So I want to thank you guys who came to the show and who were there for us and didn't leave early.
Or stayed late.
By the way. So thank you for that. I also want to thank those of you who came and saw us in London. It was incredible. I cannot believe the people that wear Tibby, that talk about Tibby, like
That share Tibby.
you guys. I mean, we could start our own country. I mean, we have got doctors, lawyers, technicians. Like, it is the most interesting range of people, and even like moms coming in with their babies. Like, it is the most interesting range of people. I cannot believe that I have gotten a chance to meet the type of people that I've gotten to know over the last couple of years. So I really, I wanted to thank you for that as well. And I think being in y'all's head, being in our own head, and as much as we talk about, it's really just been such an interesting way to think about what style means to us,
right?
And how to show it, because it's personal. And I know that the worst thing that you can do is feel like a fraud or feel really uncomfortable in your surroundings. And watching enough people walk around Paris Fashion Week, which I'm like, dude, there is no way that you were comfortable dressed like the fucking Tin Man.
Or you feel like yourself, right?
No.
Who are you?
No. So we have developed something really cool, and it is this Venn diagram. And I am just, you know what, let me reverse it, because since I'm going to show this to you guys online, but we are going to post this afterwards, so no one needs to worry about getting it right now, because I'm going to just go through it with you guys. But we have created this diagram here, and what I wanted to show you is we all really sat around and talked about what is the makeup of things that impact our whole like style self. And so the three really big overarching categories were geography, and that's where we live. It's the terrain. If you're in London, it's
The weather, if you're down south, if you're in the East Coast,
hot,
West Coast.
Hong Kong, sweltering, etc. So your geography, right? That's a big one. And then the second one is history. And those are the times that we grew up in. Are you an 80s baby, 90s, early 2000s, 50s, 60s, whatever it is, that certainly has an impact. That's why it took me forever to get my head around even having acid washed in the line, because of Wham and George Michael and all of that. Exactly.
What a good time.
So there's geography, there's history, And then there's experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, a lot of people, they're like, no, I worked in banking too long. I'm not wearing that blue suit. I was a waiter for too long. I'm not going to wear black and white, etc. So history, geography, experience. And then there are these other things, right? There's physicality of our shape, right?
Height.
I'm
I'm
hips,
wide, I'm
waist,
narrow,
boobs, the whole thing.
Yep.
Then there are emotions, times that really amazing things have happened and we associate it with like the favorite top that we were wearing, or that top became our favorite because that was the year that you gave birth. It was the year that you got promoted, or
Right.
big
Trying to
things,
fit yourself
right?
into that space.
Or sad things.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are times, then there's familial. Those are like if you had a mom or a dad who was like, or any relative,
You have
or a
good
friend.
legs, so wear something short, or you shouldn't wear that color because it doesn't look good on you, or you know,
Exactly.
I'm conservative.
So those are things for sure that stick in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
So that is where we then came up with this idea again, where it is, I'm going to read this. I can't read it backwards, so I'm going to read it to you guys, right? But it's geography, history, experience, physical self, familial, and emotions, and all of that intersects to create your style self.
Let's go.
Is that
Questions?
Yes.
Just real quick, would you let them know what's happening at 2:20 for Americans?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So at 2:20, and this is not a bad thing, but this alarm is going to go off
On your phone.
on your phones. And if you're in America, it's not like an Amber Alert. It's like some testing of
We didn't plan it.
How long is it supposed to last?
Until 2:50 potentially. On
What?
different
Whoa,
phones.
whoa.
It will go off at different times on different phones between 2:20 and 2:50.
Okay.
So imagine we get this commercial break that has those colorful lines. And in the
You know
meantime,
what? Let's turn off our phones. So
Okay.
if anyone's got extra phones, like we don't need extra bullshit happening.
That's true.
Okay, so now what we've done is we do have a list, some of our favorite pieces that have got like some serious baggage on them, right?
Yep.
So one of the things that I'm wearing is the,
Davenport.
yeah, but
And the eco
it's even got that word that I never,
Pussy.
don't say it
Why?
without bow or cap.
I want to.
No!
I want to raise sex positive employees and coworkers, and children. So I think we should be comfortable saying the word.
No.
I was
No,
gonna
no.
say it with the bow next.
No, I'm really, I
So
don't know
Amy
that.
is blushing, but this shirt is called a
Especially
pussy.
for naked-
But it's called a. I was gonna say it. It's called a pussy bow blouse. And if you've lived through life, you know that that's the working woman's blouse. Like
Yes.
she's gonna tie it. You
Yes.
know, Dolly Parton and whatever that
Right.
movie was.
So,
Working Girl.
Working Girl. So good. No, that was my
No, that's
thought.
another one.
Okay, so the idea with this top is when we create things, we really are like having a discussion amongst ourselves. So if Tracy's coming in, she, you know, Tracy didn't have the same associations with this as I did. She's a little bit younger. Well, I don't want to reveal our like Banksy or whatever, like people coming up with so many different names for her now, but she didn't have the same associations that I did with this. And actually working in corporate America, that fed into it as well. So this is where I'm like, okay, Tracy, I know that you're in the mood for this, but you know, I don't want it to look super pretty and super femme, and I also don't want it to look super corporate. And so one of the things that we did to mitigate that was certainly making the length ridiculous.
I was gonna say it's ridiculously long.
But doing it
And
so
why?
that, like, okay, if I'm not the type that's going to wear a peepa,
A peepo.
The new word for
the
it.
new word,
Sex positive
Right.
environments.
then I've got other ways of wearing it. I can do this with it, or if I am going to do a bow, around here we never do a full bow anyways. We always do just a half bow. And so, and then it's also really nice and oversized, and it has a lot of
The
ease.
cocoon, which you actually tucked in really nice.
I've
I
got the
think I wear it
cocoon
out.
back. So just when you think that something might be hitting you in some of those areas, like, no way, I can't go there, I've done that. Odds are we've already said, no way, I can't go there, not doing that.
How
And
can
then
we
we
fix
thought,
it?
how can we do it, right?
Yep.
And so you're wearing a good example.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So, I mean, pink I avoid with, not like
Yeah.
the plague, but a really
Okay.
rich, deep pink, and I feel too femme sometimes. I am feminine, but it's like, it's ironic to me that it's chewed up and
Yeah.
that no one is expecting me to wear pink, especially not with brown.
Right.
And so I really enjoy it. It's like a very specific pink. If it was too blushy, in fashion, like that makeup blush red pink that's too soft or it's
So rude.
too skin tone for some people. So
Yeah.
for me, it's just right. And I think that's something that was thought of even for brown.
Yeah, and
Right.
and even like right away when Tracy was craving pink, and she always comes in and she's like, "Don't hate me, but I'm craving pink," and I'm like, "All right, it's okay. Like, I'm kind of liking it too. Actually, I'm looking at this cover of Kinfolk too, and that like
That pink and
is
that
gorgeous
that
with
burnt
that.
orange.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
That is nice.
But that's where too, like when we talk about bigs and pigs, when you're wearing something that's saturated, I wouldn't call this bright, but it is saturated, but doing it in something icky, glossy, or sculptural.
If it were in
This
a
is all
soft fabric or a
big.
silk, I'd feel too extra.
Well, and I would have never worn this pink in this blouse.
Right.
Oh,
Never.
I know. It's like,
Never. No.
no,
So,
in a sweatshirt or in a sweater.
This is the pink for people who don't wear pink. This is the peebo for people
who don't do people.
who don't peebos. And want it too classic. So again, this is what it does is it allows you to unlock some of those tropes that you've had before and figuring out like how can I push past this. So it was interesting. I posted the story on Black Leather because a woman had written to me and she was like, I just don't think I could do a black leather pant. She's like, I have so many associations with it,
rock concerts.
Rock concert, early 90s, mixing it with like a Sergio Rossi stiletto
Or
heel
animal
or something. But really, when we did the Saatchi Carpenter, I remember I came back from Paris and there had been some woman that I was trolling on the sidewalk. She was right outside of Ruta Castiglione at the time, or no, the Cafe Castiglione. And her black leather pants, like they were carpenter shaped, and it was just like slouchy, and she had on a gray sweater and sneakers with it. And I was like, that's how I want to wear black leather, because that was still in a time where if you were wearing the black leather pant, it was a skin tight legging pant.
It was
with
a date night
sneakers.
pant.
Yes, exactly. So I was like, Tracy, this is what I want in a black leather pant. So you're wearing the black leather sit. I'm going to bring you out real quick. So we got Bryn here.
I'll sit.
So it's funny because I'm going to a party
And you're
that's
sitting to
rock
show the
themed.
chill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's super chill.
Because I am chill.
But I'm going to a party that's
Boom.
rock themed,
Yes.
and I feel like I don't want to buy something to look like I'm in a rock concert, but I would wear these with a black t-shirt
Yeah.
and a little Tina Turner wig, and
To be like a total cool.
yes, a cool,
Yes.
but not like buying new things I'm gonna throw away from
Yes.
Amazon.
I also feel like because it's a silhouette that I know I'm comfortable in and
Yeah.
that is tried and tested in CMC, it feels a lot less weird to be or scary to be wearing a leather
Yeah.
because it is in a shape. that
And
is
you're actually,
comfortable.
and even with the button down, it's super relaxed and chill. Because
Yeah.
some
I
people
know.
avoid button downs. I actually want to wear
I'm
this
gonna
now.
Like, I want that. I want that.
This is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And it feels like easy. Like I don't feel like I'm.
It
Like, I don't
is.
feel like I'm
Trying.
wearing a leather pant. Like I'm
No,
trying
you do
hard.
not, again, you do not look like you're part of the, date night story that's about to happen. Okay, so the big one, you can imagine the amount of baggage that Londoners came in with over the wax coat,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like this one.
Well, here it is. So
So, wait,
that's
am
what's
I
gonna happen to
missing?
you.
Oh.
So we
Okay.
let
The
you
rest
know.
of the office is coughing.
Yeah.
I know, but I haven't got, well.
This is
no,
just
never
a
mind.
test.
Okay, anyways,
And we're
this
back.
test, you passed.
I did not. I failed.
You failed, man. Okay, now, so this is the wax coat, and what we wanted to do is, this isn't your mother's wax coat, it's not your queen's wax coat, it's not your
Grandfather in the
grandfather.
countryside.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that is really just meant to be updated, because when you have something like this coat, there are so many elements of it that are so purely functional that you can't undo the functionality of it. So I think a lot of times, okay, listen, Sarah can wear it straight up, but I was so in love with the Loewe, like, little wax coat that they did, right? But, I mean, that thing was tiny. Like, you know, it was such a style moment. Sarah looked adorable in it, for sure. So I loved it. But for me, when we were doing the wax coat, I really wanted something that would just reek of functionality. By the way, fun fact, and I'm going to get the stats on this, an abnormally large percentage of our customers, if they have kids, tend to have boys. Not all boys, but boys in the mix. Which again, that need for like pragmatism that goes through the roof
I can imagine.
comes through with the boys. So, and I'm not saying that all girls are inside playing, you know, with dolls, but I did spend a shit ton of time in an ice rink and things like that, which you could too for a girl. But anyways, we know we can be many things at once. But it is a fun fact that we tend to have a lot of boy moms. We also tend to all love the color green. It's a bizarre thing. And there's a lot of Scorpios in the mix, I found out too.
I'm a
Just
Virgo. I like blowing up so far.
Oh, hence the pink.
Yeah.
But this has this like really big pocket.
So I'm just gonna throw my 2 phones in here, and it fits 2
This is
iPhones
one
flat.
Yeah.
And so if we're wondering what that is,
could even put my iPad.
But I love the details, even under the collar, this
black
part.
corduroy.
But the corduroy is good because when you turn your collar and you touch stuff, it gets dirty over time. Your hair gets dirty, so it's a function. Like it's gonna protect your coat over time.
So we really wanted this coat to function on all levels. So we did not want it to remind you of anything too conservative, too classic. But you know, you can only take it so far, right? Because you do not want to undo the functionality of it. So things like the weird back pocket, things like the raglan sleeve, all of these things give it some interesting shape, while decidedly standing out but fitting in at the same time. But if you do have those notions of like, no, I can't wear it, it just reminds me so much of blah, 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 this one won't.
Yeah.
All of the
Once they see that
proportions,
pocket on the
elements
back.
about it, the multiple, as we like search forever for our phones, we can't find because they're turned off.
Right.
That is the key code. So another one that was interesting that got brought up a lot was the pleated skirt. And this one is one of our favorites.
Yeah.
And so the two things that, well, what do you hear the most about it?
The length, that they're like afraid to look too modest or look too religious. And I feel like saying someone looks religious shouldn't be a bad thing, but I think that they're saying to look conservative, to look very modest and cover up everywhere.
Yeah.
And how do I strike that balance, especially if I'm, but at any height, if I'm tall, if I'm petite.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so the thing is for us, like even when I said earlier when I was packing, I said I'm in the mood for some shorter things, and someone was like, no, I just started wearing longer because you, and now it's about short. Guys,
No.
It's not about any of it. It's about like being able to create different moods at all different times. When I like things shorter, I will always like things longer. Again, we can be multiple things at once because we are diverse, interesting, dynamic individuals in that way. Exactly. Well, even more than dual, like plurality, multi, whatever it is. Anyway, so I hear the conservative thing, and so
Feminine.
the ways that you mitigate that: big, slim skin, wearing something like a bodysuit with it, a strappy sandal, a tube top, or really leaning into a big, oversized sweater and something that is like big, you know, fashion with a capital F, a sweatshirt, which is then really sporty. So take it really sporty, take it really fashion, take it the S word, sexy, take it really bare. Do all those things that you, when we talk about, like this is a good time to remember about leaning into antonyms. So flip it on its head, do the opposite. And are you hot? I'm so hot.
Burning up.
You can do the best.
No, I'm just gonna sit here.
I'm sorry. This is very moist.
But I hate that word. If I can't say the P word, you cannot say.
Well, you cannot say them together.
You cannot say. I hate the word moist. Hate it. Moist. Ugh. All right, guys. So yeah, I'm wearing the cardigan and the vest.
Now, to me, a pink sweater vest with this is going to feel a little. It's going to feel sweet and pretty. So, like, if you did that, you would want to lean into it with like the spring this is next spring, but our new sneaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, like mixing in an opposite. So sometimes like even things that you're like, oh, this is not going to go together, it's too pretty. Put on a gross sneaker with it. Put on a cool sneaker with it. Do all that stuff.
Totally. T-shirt under it.
The other thing that I hear about this is from people who are like, no, my waist is too big and I can't wear pleats. And this one, I do want to remind you
They
guys.
lay so flat.
It's engineered to really work across so many body types. And I know this because I've been in the dressing room with the group. If I'm going to talk fruit, and you know I hate talking fruit, and I have a whole section about how much I hate fruit in the book. But if you are what we would describe, what some people describe as an apple, what I found was in the dressing room, anyone with a wider midsection and they tend to have these skinny, beautiful legs. I don't want to say skinny's beautiful, but you know what I mean, like just beautiful legs. Not skinny, just beautiful legs. What they've been doing is their whole life, they've been told that I can only wear short dresses. I can only feel good in mini skirts. I have to show my legs. This has been every time, hands down, the first time that they've been able to wear a midi skirt. And I don't know what it is about it. I know that one thing when Tracy was designing this, which she was really big about, is doing the pleats. You'll see here, this is like a 5-inch wide pleat here, and then the pleats get more narrow as they get to the center, but they're very flattened out on the sides. It's kind of a visual eye
Not
trick.
all pleats are made the same, so we should talk about that.
They're
and
not
the fact
all made
that they're
the same.
laid flat and they have an elastic waistband that extends is pretty big deal.
Right, so yeah, a lot of times when you put something on, the elastic like contracts and it would actually make the pleats more exaggerated.
The pleats are sewn down and they stay flat, and then the elastic is the only thing that's in case that extends. So look at that. It's even flatter.
Yeah, the wider it gets, the flatter it is.
It's still gonna lay.
So this skirt is, so if you care about that, it's flattering on everyone. Flattering is subjective.
The length is very flattering too.
Yeah. So anyways, and that is a length that we will always have in our lives because we have multiple tools in our closet, and that one plays a role. The other one is the Boxy t-shirt. And this is one where, of course, when we were in Paris, who gave pushback on this was Max. Like Max he's always the one who's like, that is not sexy enough for me. That is, and I'm like, all right, Max, put it on. And then he's like, okay, I'm sold. But like, he's the one I have to convince. I'm like, why? Anyways, so what this one does though is this one's in a little bit of a heavier weight.
It's beautiful
and it really gives structure and coolness. So this is not, you know, if you've got associations like, well, I don't want to look sloppy in it.
That it looks masculine because it's boxier. I think it balances out more feminine things. I love it with that pleated skirt.
Love it with the pleated skirt. And it's also one that, again, like you're going to use it as that antonym in your closet if you've got a really feminine skirt. If you've got a straight trouser skirt and you want to give it like a really interesting fashion moment, I would wear this and the straight trouser skirt and then socks and sandals, you know.
I think of this tee kind of like how people were wearing skinnies. And they were in a skinny chokehold.
Right.
And so now they're SIDS and they're like, oh my God, this is like the baby tee, but the opposite. You know, like we were in a baby tee or a small tee so long that people don't want to do something large, but it's really good. It balances out. Even I used to roll my sleeve, and now I'm like, no, I actually like.
I know.
Yeah, I was always rolling my sleeves out because I thought I had to show more of my sleeve to balance out everything else, but it's good.
I know. I went like the first year because I mean, this was Tracy's baby straight up, right? But like I went the first year just always rolling it up and doing all the tricks, and then I'm like, no, man, it's really cool when you just like.
It's pretty like modern and youthful too, because this is like a streetwear cut. Like if you were, you know.
It's very much a streetwear cut. And it's great. So again, this is really like pushing through, knowing what role something like this fills in your closet and getting it out of your head, any kind of associations that you have with it. Then there's,
Oh, no, you're good.
Sometimes when Matt itches himself, I think he has like a question. Okay, the men's, that sorry, the blazer. Yeah, we're gonna lose my words.
Someone just wrote me and said I have a hang up with blazers.
Thank you. They do?
Yeah, drop shoulders are no. Too business, too much. They feel too much.
Oh.
Especially being in LA and Cali.
Okay. So I do hear that a lot, and I think that when someone says, especially like being in LA, I think sometimes what people say is that I've had some people who, this is weird, but they almost like don't feel like they have a right to wear a blazer if they don't have a corporate
Somewhere
job.
to go, right?
Yeah, they feel like they're posing, etc. And this
Instead
is
of just outerwear piece.
right. And this is where, like, when you think about this Venn diagram that we showed earlier, sometimes just the pure way to like push past the diagram and get to like being able to experiment and try new things is really just thinking about what is going to be so freaking pragmatic. And like if it's chilly, you want something on your shoulders. If you know, when you can just justify it to yourself why you've made a decision, it is amazing the superpowers that it gives you. And that's why,
that's good.
Like, to me, every time when I read in a magazine that they're like, the new strong 80 shoulder is back and you're gonna feel so strong and confident as a result. And that is like bullshit, because first of all, if you don't feel good in it, you really don't feel strong and confident as a result. You feel like a fucking asshole in it. And then if you don't feel like an asshole in it, because I'm intrigued by it, you know, I think it's interesting, but it doesn't give me like superpower strength. The thing that gives me superpower strength is when you are wearing something that you're like, my heels aren't sinking into the ground. I'm cold. I'm cool when it's really hot out.
I can walk farther than the block.
Exactly. Like, that is superpower, when you can be feel so good and so stylish, but so unbelievably appropriate in the moment that you're in. And a blazer does that. It is just, you know, it should be as throw on as what a cardigan is. It should be as throw on as what a horrible shawl is. Some woman wrote to me and asked what she should wear. She has a super fancy black tie event in Hong Kong coming up. And I was like, that white tuxedo blazer from winter, the long to the floor tropical wool pleated skirt, and then just a tank top. And people, you are so chic and functional in that. And I have been to so many events where when you walk in with something like that, like, the superpower is that you will be next to someone who really has gone there with, you know, the $16,000 Dior dress, the $18,000 Tom Ford dress, more than that probably. And you're just sitting there like this, and you're so comfortable. And like, it's also pretty cool what you've spent. But the fabric is so rich and real. That's like all you need to feel strong and confident. So a blazer should really do that for you. So, you know, if you've got the blazer that you're like, well, I live in Greenwich, Connecticut, I associate that too much with the country club or whatever. You know what?
Do the opposite.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't wear this. We love khakis right now.
I was gonna say, you wouldn't wear this with khakis.
I wouldn't wear it with khakis.
You wouldn't wear this with navy khakis and a pull-up? No?
I wouldn't. But would I wear it with your black leather Sid jeans and a t-shirt? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You know, would I wear it with a black patent leather boot? I wore it to a Rangers game. You know, like, just wearing it in the places that are the least expected is what feels good. So, you know, taking that geography, that terrain, and kind of turning it on its head is when something like this really feels right. You know, just if I had this on with just Sid jeans or something, I would feel really, really good.
It's funny.
Right
I
now,
have
I
on
feel
this.
a little classic.
I have on this pink, and I think about the Energizer Bunny. It's like, how can you outlast everyone else in the room in comfort and in style? Like, they're not going to be comfortable long. They came in looking like you, and you both were on the same page, but the night's going to go down for them because they're not comfortable. They don't feel like themselves. But you do. Yeah,
and it's not even like, I was telling you earlier, Mamet and I in Paris, we were at La Belle Epoque, and okay, so like, it's Paris week. For sure, you know, people should be coming in with fashion with a capital F, right? They should, but still, like, even there, it is just still like really like you what the fuck, if you cannot sit down in your seat, that's just rude. It's so rude. Can I have the white dress?
Ooh.
So I'm so excited about wearing this.
People write me about white being so precious, and they're afraid to wear it.
And this is where I think that's your antonym that you need to do. So you either treat it in like not a precious way at all. You know, you would just wear it like maybe to an event, but you're gonna wear it, I don't know, maybe you're just gonna throw a sneaker on with it. But I love it with like a red tight and a shoe. It's really just playing around with it. I love it with black tights and a sandal as well.
Would you do a fishnet here too? Or an opaque tight?
We did a post yesterday on Rule of 3. And this dress to me, between the nylon insert on the pleats and the, I don't know, although we did a fishnet with the lace skirt and that looked really interesting for fall. I think it, yes, I would actually, yeah, right event.
Yeah.
But I would wear like a black strappy sandal with it and fishnets. Yeah, I would, definitely. Yeah, what the fuck? Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, why did I pause on that? I love the
It's a good thing to pause though, right? I feel like everybody's doing the same thing.
I know. It's bad to knee jerk it. Okay, the khaki pant. So this one.
I'm joking.
I know, but seriously, no. I mean, not. But
I want to tell you how many times I almost drank out of that, so we need 2 of those.
well, it's not even like you had another thing to mistake.
I know. I was
it
like
with.
shit. Because I was thirsty, and I was like, I might as well drink hers.
You do that. All right, that's cool. I wouldn't care. Okay. All right, so this is the khaki trouser, and this is one where Tracy and I really wanted to create a pant that would have all of that functionality that a good chino does without making us feel like she stepped on the ball, you know, like if you've seen Trading Places and that reference. So this is the good khaki pant, and again, this is one where we hardcore push it out of our world. This is where we wear it with like the white Victors. This is where I'm gonna wear it with a black bodysuit.
And I love that we have options for pleats and non-pleats, because there are some people are pleat people.
Right.
And pleat, say that 3 times.
Pleat people.
Some people are pleat people. Some people are flat front people. So you have options with the Rodney or the Stella.
But I want to be clear.
We're having a hard time today.
But like for sure, when I'm talking about my references, this is how important like geography and everything is, because this is one where, you know, Tracy did not have those references. You know, she was born in Vietnam. She grew up in Houston, and they didn't have the khaki set down there. So
they starched their khakis in Houston.
I know, but it's like with, you know, the cowboy boots and everything. So when you talk to like a Texan, they have got major shit around cowboy boots.
Right.
And so, you know, not everyone, I mean, look, we have so many customers in the Netherlands and in Prague, you know, and in Prague, she's like, I don't understand this. Why would you think this about khakis?
Right.
So all of this is about, we're using examples of our own personal associations, but they're ones just to simply to get you to think about what your associations are, lock them down, and then find a way to flip them on their head or completely erase them. And I would say any of the parent, friends, comments like that, those get the full-on erase.
But let's be honest, it takes time. I feel like if that stuff is embedded in you, you're working through it, and you have to be like, give yourself grace, but also know like, I need to feel comfortable. Life is too short to be living somebody else's life.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and it really, one other thing too, someone was asking me like, how can they force their eye to adjust sooner rather than later? And I was telling them, you know, guys, like I don't Photoshop my pictures, but I kind of do in that, like,
with your mind's eye.
With my mind's eye, like my mom and dad always made fun of me when they're like, Amy, when you look in the mirror, you always go like this. Like I always like close one eye. I do this half
So
squint.
that's an artist thing too, because when you're like looking for perspective.
Yeah, and I'm also wanting to see it the way that I want to see it. Because like, I don't know, like who's to say that there's a right or wrong way
No.
in seeing things? And I, like, okay, listen, I'm not telling you to go get a photo shoot app, but when I do take a picture and I stand there and it's angled like this, people, like that angle is giving me a certain look that I want, because I figure that like at this moment it's the best way for me to like to see how I want to feel in something. I want to just feel like a little off angle, a little interesting in it. I want to have dimension to it. And I do cut my head off, and I tell people, when you are evaluating whether or not you really like something, and I did have this turned off. Oh my God. That scared the shit out of me. It's gonna stop, right?
So this is just a test. Style class is still
Oh,
on.
but you can just click it and it goes off once you.
Does
Okay,
it do
anyways.
that? All right.
But my point being, cut your head off, because what I find a lot of people is you take the picture and then you're evaluating the haircut, you're evaluating your makeup and things like that. And I do the angle because when people do it, they're evaluating their hips, they're evaluating their boobs, all that shit. And so really, I'm looking at the clothing, because the clothing is the story that I'm wanting to tell, and the clothing in that story is what ends up coming through in my face and how I feel. And that is what makes up the whole entire picture. And I just, oh God, I can't stress enough. It's not those like, it's not the boobs, it's not the ass, it's not the waist, it's not.
My only argument is to put on a full outfit. I feel like that's
Yeah.
the big game changer, because we shift our weight around and it's like we can't really see how we're gonna look when we're walking about or when we're walking past someone's desk or someone on the street. But if you shift your weight around, you can kind of feel it.
Yeah.
I keep my head on because I like to see if I'm balanced with my hair, because we do talk about
Yes.
CMC. So it's like, okay, is one thing more textured? Is one thing slicker? Do I want more modernity there? So
Right.
that's
and then
helpful.
we hear that from modest customers as well, because when
right, if
they're
you're
wearing,
covering everything else.
when they're covering everything else, and this becomes very small.
Right. So it's like, it's good to know, but
Yeah.
as long as I have on a shoe and the actual outfit, because I can't really understand it otherwise, and then I can shift my weight around, and
So
see.
when you said you take the picture because you want to know with the hair, so
Mhm.
you've committed to the hair before the outfit.
Well, if it's on my person, yeah. So it's like,
No, but I mean like,
but I'll shift the hair based on the outfit.
so you like pull it back
yeah.
or
So
something.
if the outfit is
it's-
doing more or less, I'll be like, okay, now I need to tuck it behind my
Right.
ear, or I need to pull it into a ponytail, or
Yeah.
or like, do I need a hat? Like now we're going into winter, so you're like layered upon layered.
Yeah.
With hats, with
Because
scarves.
no one puts on makeup before their clothing, do they?
I want to imagine that I'm like this Greta Garbo and or Dorothy Dandridge, and I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it in my slip. Like
Yeah.
let me put
But
this
are
on
you
in my
kinda-
dressing room, and like
But are you kind of doing it to the vibe though that you're wearing? Like
I do the same makeup every day.
I do too.
Yeah, I need that to be like no decisions around that. Mascara, a little concealer, let me get out of here.
Well, actually, mascara is something that I like do, or I don't know. I put it on today, and it looked like a fucking 3-year-old had been in my eyes because I couldn't see.
Spider lashes.
Yes, I put it on. It was like all. Anyways.
Yeah. So, but
different story.
what about red lip? I don't put on a lip. Like if I'm going somewhere, I don't put on lipstick
I don't
until
ever
my
wear
outfit.
lipstick.
I stopped in the pandemic. I used to wear red, but now I'm like, let's get that somewhere else.
I hate my lips and lipstick. Do you wear lipstick?
No, but my mother tells me I should. A little bit of
This is
color.
good. This is
Brent's
interesting.
mother tells her that she should.
And
wear
we love you if
lipstick.
you're
Like a little bit
watching.
of color.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
specific events or every day?
Every day, because I'm super pale juxtaposed to my very dark hair.
Oh my
I love
God.
that you've never listened to her because I've never seen you wear lipstick.
But see,
Love
this
you,
is.
Mom.
But it's
So
stuff that you
lazy.
grew up with. Because, like,
Yeah.
growing up in the South, I mean, and I shit you not on this, like, in college, girls would match their bow to their running shorts.
That's giving cheerleader vibes.
And then
Just
the lip, yeah.
lipstick for me was like,
Yeah.
I couldn't get red nail polish because it was grown. Like it was an adult.
Speaking of red.
And I did it anyway.
Yeah.
At like 7, they were like, that's fire truck red. That's not for little girls. That's for adults because you're like a sex kitten. So lipstick to me is like when I ride the train with lipstick, I hide it because I don't want anybody to think I look sexy on the train.
Well, it's funny things that stick with you because there was this girl in college and she was named after like a vegetable. I don't want to say it. We'll call her lettuce because I don't want to say her name because I don't want to be mean. But I remember she made the comment to me. I was like, oh yeah, I used to always like paint my nails when I was like little. And she was just like, your mother let you grow your nails and paint them? And basically implying that like wait, speaking of nails, come here.
But she probably.
Anyways, she made me like such a freak about nails. So now when I see her, I'm like,
nails.
Come over here.
okay, come over. Wait, no, I want you to
Just
go right
go
up to
straight
the
up.
Guys, this is
she should
no, full picture. So this is Alana, and Alana was like, so Alana designs like all of our accessories. She works with Pauline and Paris on the handbags, and she's our associate designer, and she did the bags that you guys have been buying over there.
She should be a hand model.
She always has the best.
Yeah, I
best
like
nail.
having nails done. It feels good.
I
for
brought
me.
her. Okay, so will you like scooch because they need the whole vibe.
So the
so
whole.
like the nails
they're just
shoes, the
red.
socks.
are
Shoes.
perfection.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have done had you done this with this. It might have been like.
Well, yeah, because I think
Little
the nice
obvious.
thing about having really long feminine nails is I can wear something really chill and casual, and then I'm
Yeah.
not like, I don't know, it's like a fun friction, super
Shirt is
feminine thing
And the
when
shirt
I'm
is
wearing
everything.
something really masculine and chill. So yeah, that's nails for me.
Can we see your T-shirt?
Do you,
Oh,
do you
my
need a modifier?
t-shirt.
I feel like you don't
know.
have to know it, but
Yeah, my T-shirt, my super fun T-shirt.
Wait, what is your
today.
modifier?
I should know.
You
I
don't
was
have
having this
to.
conversation and I wasn't sure. I was trying
Yeah.
to figure it out. I'll come back to everybody.
it's always like the same balance. Like she gives you some irony.
I know.
right. I like fun. I like.
Like she wears pink in your own
I
way.
think I was saying whimsical at one point, which isn't necessarily right because it sounds
Dark
a little
whimsy.
clowny, but like some funny stuff or like it's not. I'm not serious. I'm serious. I'm not serious. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, nails, T-shirt, big T-shirt, sneakers. That's me.
Well, I will say on the modifier front, it was really interesting. We had this. I was working with this customer in London, and she came in and she had on this ring that was like all hand carved in resin. It was like this really big ring. And she came in and she was talking to me and she's like, yeah, I haven't been able to find my modifier. I want to really like think about that, and that's my goal. And then she's like, all right, so let's try on some things. And she's like, okay, the ring's too big, so let's try on some things. So she took off the ring and she put it in her pocket. And then later on, someone was like, oh, can I take a picture of you two together? And I was like, yeah, and I put my arm around her and she goes, wait, hold on before you take a picture. And she put the ring on, and I'm like, okay, clearly
That's important.
that is such an
Jewelry's a big
important
one for me,
statement.
too,
Like
always, yeah.
for her, the idea of like having a picture memorialized, if she wasn't wearing something like very like statement making and strong and strange, that was just not going to cut it. Like we were not allowed to take that picture till that ring was on her. And I was like, so that for her, that was really how she figured out what the modifier was. Because she's like, you're right. Every time I leave the house, if I leave and everything's just a little too settled or
She's like,
whatever,
I need a little.
I don't feel like
something.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So think about that when you're
I will.
getting
I'll
those.
come next time you
What's
get
that
me
one
in,
thing
one
that, like,
thing that I have to have?
Has to be there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, can I have the Charlie shirt? Is the other one a Gabe?
The other one, no, you have
Okay,
two Charlie
two
shirts.
Charlie.
Funny, I was wearing this yesterday with the khaki skirt.
You were?
Yeah. What shoes? Oh, I had on
Oh,
the
I
Wales
remember
Bonner,
that.
the
Yeah.
silver sneakers because I felt too preppy.
Oh.
Well, this one I brought out because for me, this one has an emotional association to it, in that I remember, getting my first, like, the big job at American Express, and I remember I went to Barney's, and it was a Barney's label, and it was these beautiful, like, unbelievably beautiful Italian fabric shirts, and I spent $350 on basically this men's shirt there, and which was a shit ton, because it was 1997, that was a ton, or 95, and I felt so good. Like, I remember every time we had like a meeting or
You would put this on.
like, I just associate it with like the best memories. And for me, when I wear a suit, like, it's just like, I love having like that really good.
What do you
Good.
feel when you wear it? Like, what's the feeling?
I feel so at ease, and it's like strong and at ease. Like it makes me feel very put together and sharp. Yeah, it's really funny that way. So anyways, the different associations, and these are all things that like no one can know that. No one, I mean you can know it because we can tell you, but like you have your own associations that no one else will know. And this is why I really, again, I'm going to point out the absurdity when you really rely on asking other people's opinions to solely form your own opinions about how you look in something, because how you look is so deeply associated with how you feel and things, and no one
can tell you that.
Can know the deeper story there unless they really know it, but even then they would still never know it. So
that's why it's your superpower. It's funny, I used to interview and I would make sure I had the best shoe on. Like I forgot what the shoe, it wasn't Miu Miu, but I bought the shoe I could not afford, and I was like, if I wear this shoe, I'm getting a job.
Yeah.
And so shoes do that to me all the time. Shoes and outerwear, I'll like spend all the bank on.
And shoes rattle me because my old creative director at Ogilvy, Ian, he was from New Zealand. He had the most posh accent, and he said my shoes look cheap. And I remember that just like
Ian, where's
I
Ian?
know. But
Good luck, Ian.
but yeah, it was like that really stuck with me. Like,
Were they cheap?
They were. That's the thing too. I mean, they were from Payless.
So you called it, and you felt,
man, I was making $18,000 a year, and no, like I had like 30 square foot apartment by myself. I had fleas in my apartment.
been there.
That sucked, but I had a cat. But you know, whatever.
Flea bites are no joke.
I know they hurt.
They're small, but my
But did you ever like pick them off and then pop them like the fleas? Like they make this little snap.
no, I had a tick bite though before because I used to run in the fields.
Oh yeah, you can do that to a tick also. Anyway,
You should actually burn it.
But this is a denim shirt, and again, denim shirts, super good association, super bad, super whatever. Again, really, what you're going to do is we're going to post this Venn diagram. So what I'm going to end it on is one more, the sheer top, because that one is critical.
Oh yeah.
Okay, critical, the sheer top. This is a game saver. So when you've got a low V-neck dress, this is what you're gonna put on. When you have put on all black and you've got like waiter vibes, you don't want to feel like someone's gonna hound you for their coffee.
Texture.
Exactly, it's gonna give you texture and it's gonna lighten things up. This is, if you've got those chinos, you're gonna mix it with this. Like, this is gonna work as like the ultimate antonym and tool in your closet. It's so good.
I joked that I said most people think sheer should be in the sheets and not in the streets, and I think it's true. It's like,
I love that. That's
really
really good.
it's like it should be as a tool.
Okay, so I'm gonna end on some housekeeping things. Number one, you are gonna get this Venn diagram up. It is going to go up at Tibby. After this, we're gonna do a recap of the show. I want you guys to really, really, really start paying attention to the stories at Tibby. You may have noticed in the last couple weeks, we've been really leaning into making everything have a little bit more of an approach of helping to solve a problem, helping to highlight other creatives that we love, doing everything that we can to kind of embrace the fact that we are a small team of creatives doing our own thing here and wanting to share this all with you. And so I think you'll really enjoy what you're seeing out there. The second thing is, and I'm going to post this up on my Instagram as well, that on Thursday the 19th at the Tibby store in New York, we are going to start a series of events where we will have either workshops or we will have speakers come in. The first event is the executive event. This one is very geared towards our C-suite executives and those who are really putting themselves on the path to get there. And we will be having a talk with different people talking about really their approach to dressing in the office and our approach to bringing critical thinking into the closet. And we are going to have really good tools there for you to help you break down that critical thinking and how to look at it almost as if Mackenzie or Bain went into your closet and like did an analysis of everything and solved your problems. only it's Tibby, and it'll be a lot more fun than any kind of Mackenzie presentation. No
But as a-
shade to Mackenzie, but
Educational.
I mean, please. Okay, so that executive one is going to be on Thursday. So if you've already seen the sign up at Tibby, you can sign up. We do ask you
Thursday
to
the 19th.
Thursday the 19th, we ask you to include what company you're with and everything so that we can make sure that this is as helpful to everyone as possible. And I will put the sign up myself as well. And then we'll have a lot more
We have
coming
some more
up.
coming down the pipe.
I think that's it, right? And then I'm going to do an event also. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there at the Hive in Washington, D.C. area. And I'll let you know the dates on that, but they will know that I'm fully committed there. And bye, guys.
Bye.